All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me again on another stream. How are you doing? Sorry for changing the day. For circumstances, foreign circumstances out of my control, I couldn't make it yesterday, but it's all right. We can do it on Thursday, and it's still okay. So last week I gave you a little bit of homework. I hope you had fun trying to figure out how to solve that last thing that I gave you, which was adding the total duration of the course based on the sum of the duration of each episode. But if you didn't do that, don't worry. We are going to solve that right now, and we are going to compare notes on you can see your approach and then compare it to my approach, and we can see the differences on that. But let's start with the notes that I have for today. As you can see, we are going to try and get this knocked out and maybe get to the episode list a bit later. So going back to the code, this is the line that I added that I asked you to maybe try and solve. But I think I'm thinking about it. I think I'm going to switch it up a bit, because this will give you just a number, and a number can be misleading when testing things out. If you want to see that specific number in the page, it can be anywhere in the page, and it wouldn't be a real passing test. Yes. So instead, we're going to get to that, but what I want to do first is to switch things out and use a very specific string. So let's think about this. Right now I'm creating 10 episodes in this course that I'm using for this test. So let's imagine that each episode is 10 minutes long, just to keep things like consistent. So if each episode is 10 minutes long, so 10 episodes of 10 minutes, that's 100 minutes, and that's 100 minutes. That's like 1 hour and 40 minutes, I think. So 1 hour and 60, yeah, 1 hour and 40 minutes. So that's the text that I want to see, like so. 1 hour and 40 minutes. So that's the exact specific text that I want to see in my page. And we are going to get to how we can display that. Just let me check real quick something. No, that's cool. I was just checking on the transmission. Sometimes I don't pay attention to it and I'm just lagging, but this time it's looking good. Hello, Trick. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. So yeah, instead of just using a number, I'm going to use this specific string, and that will give me 100% a failing test, and we can work from there. And once we have a passing test, we can do some reworks. So let's start. And we also need to, if we want to get to this, we need to set the state of each episode. So we can do state, and we are going to set a column that doesn't really exist right now, but let's call it length or duration. Length in minutes. So the length in minutes of each episode is going to be 10. Let's see. Yeah, that should do it. So let's save this and test. See what we get. we get an error that I know very well. Hold on. Need to switch to I need to switch the PHP version first. I was in 7.4. Now I'm in 8.1. All right, let's try that again. And the first error is obviously that the episodes table doesn't have length in minutes. So let's go ahead and fix that. We need to open the create episodes. Create episodes table, which only has one foreign ID. So let's add table. This will be an integer, should do fine. And then length in minutes. And now we arrive at the error where we don't have the specific string rendered on our page. And from here we can start working. So let's add the necessary code to just make the test pass, and then we can rework. How do we want to do this? Probably we need another text entry. So let's open the show course livewire component and let's add it right after the episodes count. Info lists components text entry make. Ooh. And we need to use episodes so that it'll work just fine. We're going to clear the label. And then just like before, we're going to use format state using. I probably need a whole function for this. And here I want to, for now, I'm going to inject the course, the entire course. Call it record. And now I'm assuming, or actually we do have, hi Bogar, how you doing? Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for the love. Let's see. We already have length in minutes for each episode. So what I need to do is sum that and get the total number of minutes for all of the episodes. So I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you? Let's see, total minutes. So I'm going to record. Record. We already have episodes. We have that relationship already. And that's a collection. So on this collection, we can do sum and then sum up the length in minutes. And that'll give us the total number of minutes. But since I want to separate those into hours and minutes so that I can have a formatted string, it's first let's extract the hours. And we can do floor total minutes divided by 60. And that'll give us the amount of hours rounding down. Now we do need the reminder minutes if there are any. In this case, since we are dealing with an hour and 40 minutes, we should be able to calculate or extract the number of minutes or reminder minutes on that total. So let's call it minutes. Let's go reminder minutes. And for that, we can use total minutes mod 60. So that'll do the division of total minutes divided by 60, but will give us only the reminder of that division. So that'll give us 40 minutes. So now what we can do to just get the test passing is return a string that doesn't look good. Wait a second. In what language did you think you're doing or using? Okay, return. Let's escape this and then do hours first, and then HRS, and then reminder minutes. I don't like, well, it is descriptive. I was thinking about maybe shorten that to just minutes, but I like it that it's very descriptive. So reminder minutes it is, and then mins. And I think that should be enough to pass the test. Let's try it from previous. And it's still not showing it. Why? Did I use HRS instead of HR? I did. This is singular. Run that again. And now it's passing. Okay. So like I said, this is very I'm using big words today. This is just the necessary code that I needed for the test to pass. It doesn't necessarily is the best code, but at least I have a passing test and I can then move on to the next step, which is reworking. Some of the things that I want to rework is I don't like to have the magic string here. Instead, I would like to have these moved to the course model, where I can have a property that will give me the proper formatted string length in hours and minutes. The other thing that I want to tackle is the fact that sometimes this is going to be singular, like HR, like hour. Sometimes if it's more than 1 hour, then it's going to be plural. So I like to handle that automatically. The same thing with minutes. And sometimes length is going to be less than an hour. So there will be occasions in which I don't need to show the hours, only the minutes. So very specific cases that I want to rework. So let's, since I'm going to do this in the model, or I'd like to have it in the model, then that means that we are going to go into my model test and add a new test case for it. So let's go to course test. And we already have one for episodes count. Let's add one more. So it has the episode length. No, let's just leave it like that. Episode length function. All right, I'm gonna go and grab the course arrangement from here. Paste it like that. And what do I want? So I expect that if I call course, and this will be the property that I want. So formatted, let's call it formatted length. And that is going to be the specific string that I'm looking for. So in this case was 1 hour, and well, I don't like, in fact, I would like to test all of the scenarios that I can possibly have. First is all of the values in plural, so hours and minutes. Second one is possibly all of the values in singular, so hour, minute. And then the third one is where there are no hours, just minutes. And for that, I probably want to just have a course without any episodes, so that the length will be 0 minutes, if that makes sense. So let's do this. Instead of creating 10 of each, let's just set the length to what we need, and let's create 3 different courses. So the first length, if I want the length to have more than 1 hours, and how much is, let's see, let me do the math. So it's 2 hours, that'll be 120 plus 30, that's okay. So let's do, for the first course, it has only one big ass episode of 150 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that'll be course A. Let's duplicate that one. And for this one, we are going to need all of them in singular. So 1 hour and 1 minute. So let's do 61. And then for the final one, a course without episodes, let's just duplicate this one again. And just remove this line altogether. So this will be course B, and this one course C. All right. Let's start with course A. So the string that I need here is 2 hours. Oh, that's an S. 2 hours, plural, and 30 minutes. Let's do one more expectation for course B. And for course B, we said that we have 1 hour and 1 minute, all singular. So like that. And then finally, one more expectation. What am I doing? There you go. This is for course C. I'm just all over the place today. This one will be 0 minutes without the hour part. Okay, so that pretty much covered all the bases for any combination of hours and minutes. So now all we need is to run this test and get the error probably saying that formatted length is not equal to this because it's going to be null, and then work on that. So save this. Let's run this test. So yeah, failed asserting that null is identical to 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's what I was expecting. So now we need to add a property to the course model. Let's see, how do we handle that? So let's open course, and how did you create properties again? Let me read that in the documentation. I always forget. So properties. Why can't I find it? All right, let's go then to Eloquent ORM. Getting started. Weird. I always thought it was here. How was it that I already have one? Well, not here. I have it in another project. Attributes. It's got to be attributes, not properties. Why am I having a hard time today? Hiding, no. Attribute casting, I doubt it. Let's start there. You know what? I'm not gonna waste time. I don't know why I can't find it today. So let me just quickly, because I do have code, related code in the other project that I'm working on. So let me just quickly open that. Well, I overstated the word quickly. There you go. I think that was in a model that I had. Was it slot? Yes. See, attribute. It's got to be at. Why couldn't I find anything about attributes? So it's just a protected function, then the number, the name of the attribute, and then it returns attribute, which is just attribute make. That is so weird that I couldn't find anything about attributes in the documentation. So strange. I don't think the documentation changed or something. I remember I found that very easily one day. And now I can't, I just can't. Anyway. So I need the eloquent cast attribute. So it's got to be on casting. I'll look it up later. I'm going to take this and then return. Actually, let's just copy the whole thing. We'll just modify what I need. Copy this, close this, and go back here. So what was the name that I was looking for? Formatted length. Import that. So, let me see how we're going to do this. Because for this, I wonder if in the array of attributes, we're going to get the relationship that I need in this case. Let me try that. I'm going to need a new whole function for this. I don't. All I get is everything that is described in the course, but that doesn't include the episodes list. So this is not going to help me. Can I make use of this episodes? I'm guessing this is not going to have the right scope. Let's check. Oh no, it did. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so we have access to the relationship as it is. So we can pretty much do the same thing that we did and then rework it again. So let's go to show, no, it was, yeah, show course. And let's grab this here, this implementation. Paste it here. Now for total minutes, instead of record, we are using this. Episode sum, total minutes, that's the same. Okay, so that should be enough to make probably one of the assertions pass, I think. Well, we know, well, let's see what happens if I run it. Run previous. Okay, so almost. Instead of hours, we're looking for hours and we're displaying hour. So this is not quite the same. So for this to work, well, let's just make it pass and then we can rework it. The problem is it's just going to pass once and then the other ones will fail. So I probably need to add the code that I need for all three expectations to pass. See? Okay, so I made one pass, but the other ones aren't. So yeah, I'm going to have to add the code that I need. In this case, then, This is going to be a little messy, but let's try. I could sometimes, so when I say it's going to be a little messy is because I always like, and I always recommend this to everyone I speak with, to any developer, try not to make very convoluted, complicated one-liners, because what I'm about to do could be very easily be done in one single line, but I always choose to add variables to it and split it up in different lines so that even though there is more lines in the code, it's easier to read for someone who is not acquainted to what I'm trying to do, or myself even when I look at the code in maybe 2 or 3 months. So what I want to do is create another variable, hours string, and I wonder when did I decide that I was going to do camel case for everything. Usually I like hours string, right? In fact, let's just actually, now that I'm not too far ahead, let's do that. Prefer camel case instead of snake case. Reminder minutes. So our string is going to be the string that contains the hours and this little text here. But what I want to do is then use hours and then add another string. Wait. Oh yeah, just a space. We can use single quotes, add a space, and then append. I'm going to use Laravel's text helper. So str, I think. Yeah, this is it. I use str plural, and then I pass in the value, which is hours. No, wait. I pass in the value that I want to pluralize, which is just HR. And then the value I'm using to the pluralization, or the count, in this case, is hours. So Laravel will take care of what's happening. Ah, right. You have to. Okay, so Laravel takes care of having this value and using that count to pluralize it. If it's just one, then it's going to leave it like that, HR. But when it's more than one, it's smart enough to add an S at the end, so make it plural, so it'll be HRS. Sorry, HRS. Sorry. Oh my god. Okay, so that's the hours. Sorry, I said as. And reminder minutes. Let's do the same with reminder minutes. So minutes string would be reminder minutes and then space. We should add another space at the end of this, because this will be in front, but if there are no hours, then actually let's make that condition right away. So hours greater than 0. Then this whole thing. Otherwise, it's going to be an empty string. So if we have hours, the hours string will have the hours in the plural plus a space. If it's just 0 or less than 0, it can be less than 0. But if it is 0, then the hour string is just going to be empty. All right, so minute string reminders plus space and str plural again. In this case, it's going to be minutes or just min, and the count is going to be reminder minutes, like so. And then for the return, we can just do hours string and minutes string. And I think that should be enough for both or all of the expectations to pass. Let's see. So let's run previous, and no, we failed one. Why? Oh, there is an extra space there. Okay, how did that happen? Because of this, I added that space. So instead of doing that, I can just do, let's just cobble them together. That looks awful. Oof. I think that's better. Yeah. All right, that works. So now I have every possible scenario for that attribute, and it looks good in my opinion. So now that we have this covered, we can go back to show course test, and there's one more thing. I don't like using the collection because that could cause every time we call this, we are making a select, we're making a query. So I would like to have this as an aggregate. How do we do that? So what I want is, instead of episodes, I want to have episodes length in minutes sum. But I need to make sure that that is actually loaded. I think a simple check should do the trick. So if this episodes length in minutes sum it's null, I don't really like this. Well, it depends on you could do it, you can do the check like this, but usually what I like to do is use is set. In this case, I need to negate that. So if it's not, if this attribute is not set, which means it's null, then I can do this. And I believe it's load sum. And the relationship is episodes. And the column is length in minutes. So that ensures that I only do this once. Once per request, at least. Let's see if that worked. Let's see, maybe I broke something. Run previous. Yes, I did. Okay. So I was expecting 2 hours and 30 minutes and I got 0. Did this not work? Yeah, I didn't. Still no. Hmm. Oh, sorry. I was using the wrong name. So it's episodes, then the operation, episodes, the operation, and then the column name. So let's use this value instead. Like so, and like, well, I don't need this line anymore. Run the test again, and it should pass. Oh, of course, I need to remove the DD first. And now it's passing. Okay. That allows me to make use of this formatted length attribute, which in turn, hey, Digit, how you doing? Good morning to you. Thank you for joining me. So this allows me to have this formatted length attribute and in turn have that make use of the aggregate, the sum aggregate of the episodes relation, and most importantly, only do it once per request, or at least that's the plan. Now we can go back to show course test. And we can start working a bit more on removing this here, because now we can use course formatted length. And that should work, right? It would, but we also have to modify the show course to make use of that. So instead of all of this, we don't even need the format state using. Get rid of that, remove the label still, but we can use formatted length like so, or at least I think we can. Let's run this one more time, or actually run it again, and it's passing still. Perfect. Okay. Just to make double sure, let me go back to the value that I had, because this is very specific, but the implementation actually uses what I want. So run it again, still passing. All right, now I can get rid of this. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so that's progress. Let's see. We now have total duration. Next thing we should work on is the episode list. Also, once we get the episode list working, which should be just a list of episodes with title, shouldn't be too hard. For probably next week, we are going to start, since we have pretty much everything we need for the page to work, or all the functionality and test it, we can probably move to the visual representation of the page and start working on visualizing the sections and giving it a little bit more style, because I'm absolutely sure that if we were to look at that page right now, it would look absolutely horrible. So yeah, we can step a little bit away from testing next week and then work on visual representation, actually see how the page looks and making it look pretty. So what can we do for the list? And can we do it on time? How long do we have? 48 minutes. We can probably get it. I'm going to try to get it in the next 10 minutes. Maybe. We should reduce the number of episodes if we want to do this right. Or maybe just do it in a different test. This one's getting too big. It shows the episode list. So function we need something like this, very similar. Instead of 10, let's just do 3, maybe. We could do a sequence, just to be very specific. Instead of state, like so. Yeah, let's try and do. How do we do a sequence again? Factory sequence. So in the state, we do a new sequence and then provide the state for each. Okay. So let's do new sequence from Illuminate Database Eloquent Factories, and here we can provide a state for each one. What do we want? So first one, title. first episode. Do we care about the duration in this case? I think we do. Yeah, let's be specific. So the first one is going to be a short one. So length in minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Let's make it 5. As I type 3. So that's the first one. Second one. So second episode, we need a comma here. This one's going to be 10 minutes. And finally, third episode. This one's going to be 1 minute. Just making things pretty. Okay, so I probably want to move this count to up here. What? Okay. I don't need that relationship name though. I already specified that this has many, so this is extra. Okay. All right, that'll give us a course with 3 episodes, and we have specific titles for them and specific lengths. So what do we want to assert? So let's grab this. Actually, assert okay as well. And then I want to assert see text, and I want to see the first episode. And also the length of that episode, which is 5 minutes. I'm thinking that this could be problematic unless, let's say 5, 15, 16. So, okay. Because the course object or the course component is already rendering the total length of the course, I just have to make sure that that length is not equal to this text, because otherwise I will have a false passing test. But in this case, the total length is 16 minutes, which is different than this. Should be good. So that's the first episode. Let's take these two. And then I want to see second episode. Well, with a duration of 10 minutes. finally, I want to see third episode with a duration of 1 minute. I should do. Let's run it and see what happens. First error is that the episodes table does not have a title column. Easy enough. Create episodes. Oops, sorry. Create episodes table. A digit LMS. That's good. So is it possible to get video length from YouTube or? Yes, I've heard that if you my plan is to use Vimeo, and I do know that it has an API which probably give us which we could use to get the length of each video. Initially though, I probably am going to have a form for the user to fill in that value, just so that I don't get too boggled down with APIs, etc. As I'm just going to be using the iframe embedding method to put a video in the page. So I'm probably not going to use the API right away. But yeah, I've heard that at least Vimeo has an API where you can get the length of your videos from there. So let's add one more column here, table. This will be a string and call it title. And next error is that we do not have the required text showing up. So first episode is not showing up. So since we have multiple episodes, I think the best way to go about this is, instead of adding text entries, well, we could add text entries just to make the thing pass. But that's going to take too much time. Why don't we, I think there is a faster way to do this. So let's go to Filament documentation, info lists. Where are they? Info list builder. And there it is. There is a repeatable entry. The repeatable entry allows you to repeat a set of entries and lay out components for items in an array or relationship, which is exactly what we need. Instead of comments, this will be episodes, and that takes a schema, and we can add text entries for the the title and the duration. Oh, but that does poses the question that, or the problem that we need a property in the episode as well, just like we did in the course. So that's going to be another test. But for now, let's just grab this. No, actually, let's not grab it. Let's just go back to the code and close this, show course component, and let's add it at the end. So info lists, components, repeatable entry, make, and this takes what, the relationship name? Yes. So episodes. For this, we need a schema. And here we can add info lists components. Let's add one text entry for the title. And actually, that's the error that we have. So let's solve that first, and then let's wait for the error about the length, and then we can keep going. So that should do it. Let's run it again. And what's the error about now? Yeah, there you go. So we are missing 5 minutes, which is the first one. So this one's passing, now we're here. So what I probably want to do is just add another text entry. And we are going to make that text entry for another property that is going to be called formatted length. It's actually with like that. So that's going to be null. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe it will. Let's see. Run previous, and I still need that error to show up. Okay, and it does. Still missing 5 minutes. Okay, now we can move on to this property. So we need that property in the model, and so we need a model test. Do we have one for episodes? We don't, right? Tests, unit, so just for course. Let's create one more. PHP artisan pest test. That's going to be in unit. And it's going to be called episode test. There you go. I'm going to can we copy this one? I don't think we can. So let's open course, episode test. It has formatted length. Is that how we call it? No. This one's wrong. This is the course length. This one can be called, it has the episode length. So in here, I think we just need to create an episode. So let's say episode. Oh my God. Episode, if I learn to write, equals to episode factory. Let's give it a length in minutes of 5. Create. That's going to fail probably because I'm not passing in the title. Let's wait and see. So once I have the episode with the length that I need, I can do expect episode formatted length. to be 5 minutes. Yep, it's complaining about the title because I'm not setting that in the factory. And so we need to modify the episode factory to have a default title. So let's open episode factory. And let's say title, fake sentence. Run again, and now, oh, and we need to belong to a course. Okay. So how do we do I know that has is for, okay, so go back to episode test. For course factory, can we do create just like that? No, just course factory. Would that work? Did I not import it? Let me open the model real quick. Episode. Okay, so what's happening is I don't have the inverse of the relationship. I have a relationship between course and episodes. So a course has many episodes, but I don't have the reverse of that relationship. So I need it right now to create an episode for a course. So let's use public function course. This is a belongs to. Return this belongs to course class. Ooh. What now? The instructor. So I'm creating a course without an instructor. So let's go back to episode test. Actually, let me real quick go to here. Let's grab this line. Paste it here. So I'm creating a new episode for a course, and that course belongs to an instructor. Class user not found. Okay, now we're back. We are now in the error where the property that I need is null, and I'm looking for 5 minutes. So now we need this property. I'm going to, let me check. We have a course model here. I'm going to copy this whole thing, but I'm just going to modify it to my need. And I'll put it in here. So that's the attribute name. We don't need this sum. We just need to access this or actually attributes. We can just tap into attributes. And attributes is going to have length in minutes. And we can forego this variable altogether and just use attributes here. So hours, length in minutes divided by 60, our string, let's stay the same. And the remainder of minutes is going to be this same thing. Mod 60. And then assemble that into a pluralized string and then return the whole thing. That should do it. Still no. Really? Is there a problem with a name somewhere? Let's see. First, let's start with this. Make sure that I do have the value that I need here from the get-go. It's like it's not even... Oh, of course. Missing an import. Missing another import. Now the DD is working. Let's remove it. And now it's passing. Cool. So this is good. Now if we go back to the show course test, they should be passing as well. And it is. Awesome. All right, so we have a total duration episode list, and in that episode list we are showing the title and the duration of each episode. And that is a perfect stopping point for today. We went over a little bit, 15 minutes over the hour, but I think that's okay. So next week we are going to take some time to step away from tests for a while, and then work on the actual course page and start seeing how it looks. First of all, it's going to be horrible, don't worry. And then work on that design, using the info list, layouts, and moving things around to get it just the way we want. So that's going to be next week. If you found this stream helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you in the next one.